I'm back, and I'm much worse than ever. I'll be on my third year of covering Big Brother USA, and I'm going to be the biggest bastard that I've ever been this year. Why? Because I'm through with the games these casting directors play. I mean, it's the 17th season of Big Brother USA, so it's BB17. And in my opinion, the typecasting is old, it's out of date, it's done, they ran it to the ground, stick a fork in it, it's dead, and in my opinion, it should be outlawed. If there's one thing I can't stand to see in my TV, in movies, etc., is the usage of stereotypes and typecasting utilized as a method to destroy the minds of people and cause division among society. Now, every year, just about, CBS plays the same stupid tricks when it comes to the casting of Big Brother. It seems like whenever it's time to cast a black person, they're pretty much always the heaviest person in the house, which will render them useless physically, or at least less athletically capable of competing in competitions. They had this one woman named Jody, who was a fat black woman who was gone in the very first episode of the season she was on. Then, of course, there was Kalia Booker, who was fat and annoying as hell, and she couldn't compete either. And they generally like to put black people who just can't compete. But anyway, don't get me wrong. Some of these people may not be fat, but they tend to pick heavier blacks, including super muscular men who have difficulty standing on small platforms and holding their hands above their head and performing other tasks that will cause them to just fail completely in competitions. And it's, of course, set up this way from the beginning. Also, when these huge black men walk through that door, they become immediate targets for eviction. People always use the same BS excuse of so-and-so is strong, he's a good competitor, so we need to vote him off. Funny thing about it is, the big muscular black man can completely just suck at challenges, and the White House guests will say that they still don't want to compete with the big black man. It's the same thing season after season. Speaking of competitions, when CBS casts a black person for Big Brother, they pretty much never pick a very smart one. Maybe somebody who's moderately smart, but not someone who will be a great puzzle solver and somebody who's good at figuring things out. God forbid they put a black person with some brains on the goddamn show, and if they did, you better believe that they suck at the physical competitions, or their social game would be freaking horrendous. They refuse to cast someone who is balanced, because a lot of times they'll put somebody on there whose social game sucks, and what will end up happening is they'll say from the very beginning, let's say when the first eviction comes up, whether it's the first episode, second or third or whatever episode, they'll say, well, I didn't really get a chance to know so-and-so, they're kind of standoffish, and that's the excuse. So they pick somebody who's socially inept, physically or mentally not ready to be on the show. And they do this all the time. I'm so tired of them picking people for the show who have annoying personalities, annoying voices like Kalia, someone who just can't compete physically and mentally. CBS has refused to put a black person on the show that can possibly win it. They don't want a black person to have an inkling of a chance at winning the show. We've seen 16 seasons and not one freaking black person has won the damn show yet. And I'm pretty sure season 3's breakout all-star, Danielle Reyes, which was my favorite player of all time for the record, I'm pretty sure she's the only black to make it to second place. Another annoying thing about the black people that Big Brother casts, besides them being the heaviest person, the weakest physical competitors, being mentally and socially incapable of competing in the game, is the casting of black gay people. I've seen, 2, 3, or 4 of them so far. I don't know. Out of the 14, 16 or so house guests, CBS only includes 1 or 2 black people in the group. Therefore, there is no need for any of them to be gay. I know CBS always includes 1 or 2 gay or bisexual people, so no need for the black people to be the gay people too. No need for, quote, double minorities. And for the record, I remember a season where CBS cast a mixed girl named Monet. And guess what? Mixed people don't count. They are not black, CBS. You're not fooling anyone. They still count as a half of a white person. So that particular season, if I'm not mistaken, they only had one half a black on the show. See how they're trying to be funny? She was some cute model chick. She wasn't mentally or physically really able to do much from what I remember. I don't remember her being all that great. I remember her being maybe somewhere in the middle. Anyway, so she had no chance of winning, basically. Speaking of women of color, if you're going to pick a black chick, make sure she isn't wearing a hair hat, a weave, a wig, etc. Natural women only. If they have to get their hair wet, which if they're around long enough they will, we don't need them being hesitant during competitions because they're worried about getting that synthetic crap in their head wet, that roadkill. Now, for the record, when I say natural, that doesn't mean cast a woman whose hair is a big freaking poof. You know, so big that she can't even wear a hat. You know, because I know how CBS is. I'll turn on my television and these mofos will have a poodle standing on two legs up there in the house. I know what you do, I know how you do it, and I know why. And I really don't agree with it. And speaking of black people on the show, what was that chick's name? Was her name Shima? Was it season 10-ish? 11-ish? Around there. I'm pretty sure it was season 11. Her name was Shima. Chima. She was the head of household, and they gave this guy named Jeff Schroeder, who CBS ended up hiring to be an interview after this. They ended up taking her head of the household prize away from her, if I'm not mistaken, and gave it to him, giving him some special power to basically overthrow her out of the indigo blue, just out of freaking nowhere, out of the ethers. They were like, here, Jeff, you're in charge now, out of nowhere. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the only time in 16 seasons that this crap has ever been used. It's amazing how these things happen. But hey, CBS, I'm not calling conspiracy because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying that some things really stink about the show. I have to do a separate video talking about these stupid food competitions where people, I remember back in the day where they were eating peanut butter and jelly. Nowadays it's freaking slop and some old nasty crap that they have America vote on. They'll have them eat Brussels sprouts and buffalo balls. It's just stupid shit. Oh my god, they ruined the show with those stupid eating contests or whatever, where they have people eating crap for a week. It doesn't make the show any freaking better. Same thing with people sleeping on the floor or whatever, or sleep deprivation. All that crap doesn't make a better show. It ruins the show. CBS, see bullshit. Because a lot of what I see on there is bullshit. But this is all my freaking opinion. This is a rant of all rants from Meat Magazine. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels and visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com for more. I'm going in on Big Brother this year. Meat Magazine.